all the time because it's that team in life. What you actually face out there to grow, to develop, the challenges, the trials, the tribulations. Things aren't always gonna go right, but to have the right people around you to consult on certain issues, certain areas, people that you can collaborate with on good deals and things of that nature, and it has to be people whose character is of a certain standard, integrity being intact, being trustworthy, somebody who won't put a pound before their word, things of that nature. So that's why, for me personally, yes, I have a number of acquaintances, an extended network, but it's like I know who my inner sanctum is. I know who my inner sanctum is, and those are the sort of people that it's like, yeah, we can do business together. Yes, we can provide each other confidential advice on matters, whether it be personal life, whether it be business, and I can count them on one hand, and these are people who've been vetted and they've been tested for years upon years.
And then exactly. So then we want to. So this is what we want to do. It's like we want to like what are the characteristics that you think that in how you vet people?
Yeah.
Because I think that's good. So then we're giving you because I'll let you know my ones as well.
Yeah,
but it's good that the people know so that like what are the things that you look for personally?
Do you know what? I'll tell you the number one thing I watch out for is what do you do in tough times.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when things are smooth sailing, like, and everyone's laughing, everyone's bubbly, everyone's enjoying themselves, yeah, it's great. Like, you can get the best out of somebody. But what will really, really show you where somebody is and show you their tolerances is when they go through a storm, when there's a challenge. Are they able to maintain their principles? Are they able to keep them intact? How are they moving in regards to you? How are they responding to a situation? And there's been numerous times where I've observed this with people around me when challenges have come. I've seen people, they have remained stand up. It's like, you know what? I'm in a situation now. I keep my head down, push, we need to get out of this hole. And I've seen others who've given up, felt sorry for themselves, blaming other people, taking no accountability. And others who have then turned to being deceitful and bending their morals and principles just because they're in a situation. So that's the key thing that I like to observe in people, because I know storms are inevitable and I need people around me who are solid during hard times.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's powerful.
How about yourself? What about on your side?
Well, I like to see. Okay. So with myself, I like to even if let's say I was gonna do a deal with someone or I was gonna whatever walks of life that I deal with, I would like to know, right, who are your inner circles? Who are the people? If it's someone new in their circle, I'll be like, right, who's the closest people to them? Then I want to know who the closest people to them. Then I'll be like, right, let me see how they treat them. You know what I mean? Like, how do they treat them? So if it's someone who's maybe of my age group, see how they are with their wives. See how they are. Yeah, and if I'm around those kind of circles, see how they are. How do they talk about their kids? How do they talk about the close people around them? Do they, because with certain guys, they might just, like be a bit disrespectful and whatever. I want to know how they treat the closest people around them. If it's someone that's younger and they're not in that family dynamic, I want again. And depends on at what stage in life and what type of business I'm doing it. It's about how do they treat, how do they talk about their siblings? How do they talk about, about their parents? Because when I ever want to like do a business deal, or even when I bring people close around me, I always ask a lot of personal questions. Not because I'm being nosy and being intrusive, but it's just a dynamic just to see where your character is from and you know what I mean. And how do you at what hierarchy do you respect them at? I know it's a bit weird, but it
makes a lot of sense though.
But it makes a lot of sense. So like, and another thing is that if I find that people are talking about someone else to me, I'll say don't feel comfortable talking that to me, because I don't want them to feel that that's the same thing they'll do to them.
You're next.
Exactly. So those are little characteristics that are, you know what I mean, that I look at as well. So it's just about just observing and then seeing how they are. But the key thing that you mentioned is seeing how they handle tough situations and hard times, because you're right. When the champagne is flowing and when everything's good and people putting on their cocktail dress and their tuxedo and life is great and living the good life, yeah, great. But when you hit tough times, that's when you really know someone's character. And again, following from that, I genuinely like to be around people that's gone through tough times.
Oh yes.
So if someone's never had any hardship, I don't really want them around. I don't really want them around because you haven't been tested. You've never been tested in life. You've not been vetted, and not by myself. You just haven't been vetted by God. If we're going to go on a spiritual
Mm.
level, you haven't been tested in any formal way. So the fact that I know that something does traumatics happen, and it's not because it's for my enjoyment, it's just so I know how you dealt with it. It's one of those ones. It's like at the end of the day, it's like when you look at, again, you look at things on a material aspect. Generally speaking, if you see someone with a nice watch, nice car, you know, okay, they probably worked hard in order to have got that.
Yeah.
And in order for them to have got that, they would have to put in some dedication and some hard work and to be relatively competent in what they're doing to be a sound person.
Yeah.
In terms of also one other thing that I look at, ironically, if I look at someone, I actually look at their physical appearance, because if they're not in shape, there's a part of me that thinks there's a form of laziness that comes in between it
And a discipline issue.
and a discipline. Yeah. So when I like to know that when someone's actually in good shape, it shows, okay, you're disciplined, you're focused. You couldn't, you know, you didn't buy your way to get to get those, to get that physique.
Yeah.
You know, you have to put in that hard work, that discipline, the food regiments. And it's not about, you know, shaming anyone in regards to that, but it just shows characteristics of someone that I would feel comfortable to want to do business with or to even have around in my circle.
Yeah, no, spot on. And at the end of the day, there are standards and there are probabilities. There are always anomalies, right?
Correct.
But let's put it like this: you see somebody who's done well for themselves, you know, nice car, nice watch, nice house, etc., etc. That person, it is highly likely that they have been able to put their head down and focus on something, work hard, push through it, and make money to acquire this, right? Are there exceptions where it's fell on somebody's lap? Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
But the likelihood of it is improbable, right? It's an improbable thing. Also, you see somebody with a good physique. Yes, they might be a genetic freak, but that is an anomaly. That person who you see with a physique is able to be disciplined, to stay on a regiment, to work out, to be disciplined in their nutrition and what they're eating. Like you have to have a certain level of discipline to actually get a good physique. So that person needs to be respected because then you've got something about you. So now when you translate that to doing business, you know who you're dealing with already.
Exactly. Because they say you don't get a second chance of a first impression. And if you see someone on a first impression and they're presenting themselves very well, then it's going to make you feel more comfortable to want to be around them. Whereas if they're not presentable, bad hygiene, those are real things.
thing.
Yeah, real things like, you know, all those type of things. You're going to be like, you're a bit soppy, you might be a bit messy. You go into their car, they see their car is a bit, you know, you go and you see that the car's a bit dirty. People will have these perceptions. You're at work, your desk is a bit messy. People have these perceptions on how you keep yourself. It's a cluttered mind. If you're all disorganized and you're not around, you know what I mean? And you're not super tidy.